start with the mission. So what we decided to focus on the mission was a unique culture that has like various attributes, which has like feedback and performance. An analogy that we came up with was sports versus family. We want to be like a sports team. That was the culture, the unique culture, and the main purpose of our mission is to create a long-term value for customers. So that's basically our broad mission, and we came up with like certain points, sub-points in between here. But these are the two things that we're going to focus on.
So I would like to highlight for that we're Team Highfly.
Oh, yeah.
And we came up with some business attributes. When we're looking at the ideas, we will be using these guidelines to decide which idea we want to pursue. We had a total addressable market. We have not come up with a number yet, but we want the total addressable market to be big for us to invest our time in it. We have a preference for software-based technology disruption of any industry, and we came up with a long list of industries that you will hear about in our focus area. We want low technology risk. That means we will not go out and build a big R&D facility and come up with a new technology. Instead, we will go with proven technologies, and we will use those technologies to disrupt an industry of our choice. It will be a new company, so it will not be acquiring an existing company. It will be pre-inflation point of growing. That means we will choose that industry of focus. We will look at the trends, and we will try to, just like we heard from Scott this morning, we will try to look at those industries that are not there yet, but in 2-3 years they're going to be there, and we're going to shoot further. Non-limitational geography, we have a preference for global businesses, so we don't want to just look at the United States, although we are aware of the fact that we're in Silicon Valley. Limited industry structure risk, and by that we mean limited regulatory risk, limited government uncertainty, and legal risk. We understand that regulatory changes can create opportunities, but we want to limit that opportunity. We want to limit the risks that comes with it. And we want a scalable business within 3 to 5 years time frame. So we are in it for long term, as you heard in our mission statement. We are in it for long-term value creation. However, we do not see ourselves like waiting for that value to be created in 20 years. So we do have a time frame.
Great. So some of these we have actually a very long list of things that we considered. The best way to look at it is through the lens of these criteria, but just to make it a little more tangible. The ones that in the time period we were able to get alignment on general excitement level. Financial industry is very big, and there's clearly there's so much information, the ability for software to act on that information and distribute it. We think there's opportunity there. Online education seems to be a very big trend in general and in private and in public context. Digital media we're defining as sort of what replaces magazines and books. There's nothing wrong with paper, but clearly the new medium may have additional capabilities, additional monetization channels. If you say, what we're learning in games with all the iPhone apps where you can upsell within a game, why not do that within the context of a magazine or an article or a chapter or a children's book? And so we define digital media broadly, but those are the kinds of things we're thinking of. And in the same light, a lot of people talk about mobile being exciting. And it is when you think of all the cool things mobile phones can do, but we'd really like to define it differently as the next personal computer. I think that Apple looks at the iPad as the next MacBook, and a lot of these things won't be necessary and won't be desirable when the tablets get a little bit more capable and when the media platforms meet them halfway. And so we're thinking, what does the world look like in that next-gen personal computing world? Thanks. And then how would we adapt to it? And then we are interested in consumer products as well. It's obviously a very big word, very big term, but we're not afraid to going direct to the consumer. There's appeal to business and there's appeal to consumer, and we're exploring some of those as well.
Yeah, so we thought about the consumer products as an area that none of us had really thought about real deeply, but then we threw it out here and like, well, what's one specific area that might be interesting? We thought about, what about children's products? So we said, for an action plan we could do even next week, we'd say, from consumer products, we look only at children's products. We'd say maybe there's the in-store type, there's the home delivery type, and we start thinking about what is the total addressable market for this home delivery, which due to some trends trends like people shopping online, kid stuff is more expensive now, you have fewer kids, so you don't reuse and like hand down items. Like maybe there are these trends which are shaping home delivery to be a new route. So to find this out, you have to go and say, what's the industry ecosystem? What's the value chain? Try to figure out what are these potential points of change. Talk to consumers about their unmet needs, and then have actually a hypothesis, like maybe we have a Netflix for children's clothing and toys. Then ask people, like, what does that sound like to you? Can you give us input on that? And then from there, we can go and talk to the competitors, talk to the supply chain, find out how do we clean things and like wrap them in plastic? How expensive is that? Talk to the potential partners. There's so many people to reach out to. There's GSB alumni, there's McKinsey alumni. We can talk to the CEOs of some of the smaller companies. We can talk to any of the suppliers. They're happy to talk to us. We can also look at some of the big companies just to find out what's their cost structure and for each individual pieces. And I think from this, we could actually split all 4 of us working very quickly 1 week to find out like, are children products an interesting area? And if so, like, is this home delivery right? And if it's not, we can still say from this knowledge, maybe we shift to another area.
Great.
Thanks.
Give 'em-